We begin with a closer look at the shifting United States-Iran escalation for Monday, March 23, 2026. We have the latest developments.
From Neural Newscast, this is the Daily Briefing.
Thank you, Adriana. Today, President Trump announced he is postponing strikes on Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for 5 days. He posted on social media that the United States and Iran have held productive talks that could lead to a total resolution of the war. This comes as the 48-hour ultimatum for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz was nearing its deadline.
That diplomatic optimism is not shared by Tehran. Iran's foreign ministry promptly denied that any direct talks with the United States are taking place. They suggested the president is trying to reassure energy markets and buy time for his military plans. While they acknowledged regional initiatives to de-escalate, they insist all requests be directed to the United States, since they claim they did not initiate the war.
The stakes for the energy market are difficult to overstate. Fatih Birol, the head of the International Energy Agency, warned in Canberra today that the global economy faces a major threat. He said we have lost 11 million barrels of oil per day. To put that in perspective, that is more than the oil shocks of 1973 and 1979 combined. The IEA is already consulting with governments about releasing more stockpiles beyond the 400 million barrels released earlier this month.
Despite the talk of a 5-day pause on infrastructure strikes, Benjamin, the military reality on the ground remains volatile. Israel's military reported today that it is conducting strikes on targets in the heart of Tehran. Meanwhile, the Saudi Defense Ministry said it intercepted a ballistic missile launched toward Riyadh and continued to intercept drones overnight. It remains a very active conflict zone, regardless of the diplomatic window.
The Iranian Defense Council has also issued a new warning. They say if the United States eventually strikes their power plants, they will retaliate against energy and water infrastructure across the entire Gulf, including in countries that host United States military bases. They have even threatened to lay mines across the Persian Gulf sea lanes if their coasts or islands are attacked. It seems they are aiming for a policy of mutual vulnerability, Adriana.
They are certainly signaling that the consequences will not be contained to Iran alone. At the same time, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper told Iran International that the United States campaign is ahead of schedule. He noted that while the Strait of Hormuz is physically open, shipping is staying away because Iran has targeted civilian vessels over 300 times in recent weeks. He described these actions as a sign of desperation as Iran's military capabilities deteriorate.
Back in the United States, there is a growing gap between the administration and the public. A new poll conducted between March 17th and 20th shows that 68% of Americans feel the goals of the war have not been clearly explained. That is a 6-point increase in confusion since the conflict began in February. While Republican support remains more positive, the general lack of clarity on what a win looks like is becoming a significant political hurdle.
It creates a complicated backdrop for these next 5 days. We will be watching to see if these alleged conversations produce any verifiable shifts, or if the pause is simply a brief window before a wider strike on Iran's power grid. For now, the global economy remains on edge, as energy prices reflect the uncertainty surrounding the strait.
That is the latest for today, Adriana.
This is Neural Newscast. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.